Today I'm talking with a designer that's worked with some huge names such as Stella McCartney, Selfridges and Sketch, and is one of our very own My Deco design boutiqueurs, the wonderful Giles Miller. Thanks for meeting with me today.
No problem at all.
Cool. So a lot of people will know you for your work with cardboard. So why do you choose to use cardboard as like your material of choice?
Well, I think it sort of began a few years ago when I sort of did my first self-directed project back at university, and I was looking at issues surrounding homelessness, and that led on to obviously investigating potential materials, and so yeah, cardboard was top of the list really. And I think that that was the beginning of it, but actually I became interested in the sort of structure of the cardboard and the material. And that interest kind of grew into quite a diverse selection of projects using corrugated cardboard. But now I've sort of had the opportunity to sort of look into other forms of paper design, so it's quite an exciting moment for me.
When you started like making the project, was it quite hard to convince people at the beginning how you could add value to cardboard, or was it something that came quite easily through the design?
I think it was quite hard. I think actually it became the kind of singular challenge for me really to try and elevate cardboard as a material and try and turn it into something that could be consumed at the highest end, as well as across all scopes of design and consumption. For me, I sort of saw a beauty in it that I believed in, that I sort of really believed in, so it became a sort of natural challenge and something that I thought was certainly possible to convince other people of its value. But I certainly think it's hopefully got some way towards doing that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and do you think then it's the designer's responsibility to kind of, in the material choice and the way they design and all those kind of things, to have a responsibility about the environment?
Yeah, I do. I mean, if I'm going to tell the truth, I think when I first started using cardboard, it wasn't because of the eco-credentials. It was more just a natural interest in the material and the actual structure of it. But I think I've come to appreciate the value of the sustainability of it. And I think it's something. There's so many designers out there that I think everybody, it should be a sort of a given that everybody has considers the wider sort of effects of products that they're creating in terms of sustainability.
Are there any other designers out there at the moment that you think are doing quite interesting things with eco-design?
I think there's quite a lot of people, who are sort of approaching the subject. I'm quite interested at the moment in fashion industry and how that's actually kind of translating, people, the consumers' desire for eco consideration. And there's a few companies that are doing, that are upcycling fashion garments, kind of making new pieces out of it, junkie styling just down the road from here, being quite a good example. I think hopefully that example, as it does, filter through into the design.
So you always see it, the fashion first, then the kind of new trends, it kind of comes over, and then you see it in the product
to admit that I think a lot of the trends that come through the world of product design have kind of stemmed through fashion and music. I think they're all interlinked, so it's quite interesting.
Any kind of creative process, like
exactly,
all goes together. You've been lucky to work with a lot of different collaborations and things and other designers. How does that design process differ from that than when you're working on your own for your own label?
I think it benefits it always. I mean, on one side it kind of means that you're not allowed to take every decision and go in the direction that you would always want, but at the same time it feeds in new input into your creative process, so it's a beneficial thing as well as a kind of as a kind of hindrance on occasion.
I bet you've got to supply it to the customer as well,
but it's a good thing to be doing, and certainly it keeps your ideas fresh and kind of keeps you bouncing around a little bit, so it's good.
And we're here today to talk about your latest collaboration with Bombay Sapphire. Do you want to talk us through this lovely design?
It's kind of quite an unusual material choice, as you can imagine, for Bombay, and they have had various designers consider their martini glass design previously in glass, and I think the challenge for both parties was obviously to try and create martini glass out of cardboard was quite a difficult thing, but basically they gave me the chance to see what we could do, and I've taken the process that is usually used in things like egg carton production. It's basically paper pulp
material,
mashed up, and there's two moulds that kind of come together to form the shape. The challenge was, there were various challenges, but obviously creating it so that the liquid can actually be retained in such a material, which is a bit of a difficult thing to achieve. But yeah, I think it's quite interesting, and because of the fact that it is such a contrast to the usual material, I tried to kind of keep the kind of generic shape of the martini glass, just didn't want to go too crazy with that. But yeah, it's certainly worked out as an interesting outcome. can.
Yeah, so I guess everyone is asked, how do you stop it from going soggy then? What's the secret?
It does have a kind of resin-infused process, so that kind of means that the liquid can be retained. It does, obviously, these glasses can't really be sort of stuck through a washing machine. They do still they are very much a recycled paper in their kind of construction, so it's really a one-time use object, but it does retain a drink for a few hours, so it can then be sort of recycled and sort of after use. I have actually tried to incorporate this sort of brass tag at the bottom here, which has the Queen Victoria logo, which is the Bombay Sapphire's logo in it, and the idea is that you can kind of pull the glass apart. It comes apart in two sections and kind of keep the tag afterwards as a kind of memento of your drinking experience, which is quite important when it comes to kind of such an exclusive product as Bombay Sapphire.
And of course this is for a one-off kind of event, but do you think things like this could be really used to help in the greater picture, like instead of all these plastic cups that we're using at the moment, maybe do a similar process or try out some other things, or do you think you might go in the future?
No, I definitely think, it's been done once. This is quite an experimental project, and as I said, all hats off to Bombay for giving us a chance to do that, but I think if they as a brand can kind of embrace the idea of truly eco products, it probably opens the doors for many more people to do the same thing. We have created this product which is now reproducible and at very minimal cost, because it's a widely industrial process, and I think certainly the potential is out there for many more people to kind of cotton on and do the same sort of thing across sort of wider markets and across the world.
Oh, great. So over all the products you've designed since being a designer, what is your proudest moment or the favourite?
Here it is.
Really, this is number one, the most recent thing right here.
Well, this is. I think as a designer, you're always looking to the next sort of thing, and this is one of my most recent products and projects, and it's been very different and quite a challenge. So it's quite satisfying to have kind of got there in a sense. I'm now working on surface design, which is a kind of complete contrast to this sort of thing, and I've got some interesting new concepts which I'm very excited about as well, but I think I'll always be bouncing between my projects in terms of enthusiasm.
Oh, great. Oh, well, wonderful to speak to you today. And of course all your stuff is available on the My Deco website, My Deco Boutique, and just lovely to meet with you.
Thanks very much. Cheers.